Hey, psychology friends, I am back to let you know a little bit more about your Unit 2 project. So this is your Unit 2 video assignment going over the close reading project. So before we get into that, I want to tell you a psychology joke of the day. You ready for this? Boom. All right. A receptionist says to the psychologist, "Doctor, there's a patient here who would like to see you. He says he's invisible." To which the doctor replies, "Tell him I can't see him right now." I'm funny. And if you don't think I'm funny, at least these guys do. So there's your joke for the day. Hopefully made you smile, made me smile, and hopefully it gets you ready for your Unit 2 project. So for your Unit 2 project, you are doing a close reading project. And this is where you read an article and you kind of get a deeper understanding of it. You pick it apart. You read it multiple times and you figure out what the words mean, what the author's trying to get at. And then you come to a general understanding of what you got out of the article. So the article you're going to be reading is found in FlipSwitch in your course. It's called Plain Everyday Common Sense by Annie Payson Call. And here I'll give you just some step-by-step instructions on what you're going to do for this project. So you can find all of the information I'm about to give you in your course in Lesson 6A13 under, again, close reading assignment. So for each lesson, you'll be doing part of your project. I think that's kind of nice that it's broken up and that you don't have to, in one day try and do it all. Just as you finish one lesson, then you do that part. When you finish the next lesson, you do the next part. And then by the time you're done, you have the full thing done. So it's something that I think you don't have to stress too much about. As long as you're doing it throughout the unit, you'll be just fine. So in Lesson 6, what you're going to be doing is reading the article for the very first time. And you're going to be learning about the word common sense. So the author uses a definition of common sense that's probably different from what we would use today. You're going to click on a button that's right here. I'll show you the article real fast so you can see what that button looks like. You're going to read this article, Plain Everyday Common Sense. Again, it's not that long. And at the bottom, there's this button. You'll click on each one, the original definition, what the author was talking about, and then kind of the current definition, what we use today. And that's what they're talking about when they say the buttons. So it says you will be introduced to the abridged novel section, Plain Everyday Common Sense, and will read information about the word common sense. Then you'll write your own definition of common sense and compare it to the author's definition. So pretty straightforward there. In all of these, unless it says otherwise, I want you to write at least 3 sentences and be specific. Please don't write one word. Pretend like I don't have this, that I can't see what you're being asked to do, and then write it accordingly. So for instance, don't just say common sense is this, the author says it's this. Just introduce it to me. Be like, the author's definition of common sense is this. My definition of common sense is this, if that makes sense. Introduce it to me so I know what you're talking about and you're using complete sentences. For Lesson 7, you are going to read the text again and then write a general opinion of it and examine how it relates to psychology. Lesson 8, you will examine historical information concerning the close reading text and will learn about its author. You will then use this information to gain more insights about the text as you reread the close reading selection. So again, you'll read it again, and FlipSwitch in your project requirements for that unit will give you an article that you need to read about her, some different information, and you're going to give a response based off that. Now, these aren't the exact prompts that are in your project section when you click on the little box for each of the units, but they're pretty close and they give you kind of a general idea of what you'll be doing there. Then Lesson 9, for this project piece, you'll read information about 3 parenting styles and then reread the abridged novel section, Plain Everyday Common Sense, in order to see how parenting plays a role in the close reading text. So again, you're going to read the article again. When you're a psychologist, you don't read things just once. You read them multiple times to kind of pick them apart. So for number 9, you're going to read it with an idea behind it of parenting styles. What are the different parenting styles there are? Those are things that you'll study throughout this unit. That's where this kind of comes into play. You'll think about those parenting styles and then say, which parenting styles come into play in this text? And then for your last part of the project, this is the longest part. This one is going to be more than 3 sentences. It actually has to be 4 paragraphs. So each paragraph needs to be 3 to 5 sentences long. In this final piece of the project, you will reread the abridged novel section Plain Everyday Common Sense and review the other project information in order to write a 4-paragraph magazine article about how to teach children to have common sense. And so FlipSwitch will give you specific details of things that you need to include in your article. And it'll be very specific. Your job is to answer all the questions that they give you, all the parts, and make sure it's at least 4 paragraphs long. And make sure it's a magazine article. Don't act like you're writing to me, the teacher. Act like you're writing to someone that might be reading about common sense. Someone that might be sitting in a, I went and changed my oil in the car the other day at the service station. Maybe they're sitting waiting for their car change and they're in a psychology magazine. They go, oh, there's an article about common sense. Write it for that person and make it sound good in that way and pretty easy for them to understand. So I like these close reading assignments because they help you to learn how to break things down, to digest it and not just mull over it. I have a bad habit. When I read a book, I pick up the book and there's a million things going on, right? And I'll flip through a page. And then after I flip through that page, I'm thinking, pretty hungry. Hope we have tacos for dinner. Then I flip through the next page and I'm like, wonder how my football team's doing this week. And I flip to the next page and I'm like, oh, man, I got to go set an appointment to bring the kids to the doctor. And by the time I'm done with my book, I don't remember any of it. Or by the time I'm done with the article, it's all over my head. This assignment helps you to focus and to not make that mistake that I often make. It helps you to just get all that information in and help you to understand something. So it's a pretty straightforward assignment. Like I said, you'll get even more instructions once you get into FlipSwitch. But I want you to remember something. I give more than one attempt on projects. So if you are kind of struggling and you're worried about your project and you think maybe you missed the mark a little bit, do your best and turn it in. And then I'll give you some feedback and I'll give you a grade. If you're not happy with your grade, I'll give you another option. I'll give you another attempt so that you can do the project again. Fix your mistakes, I'll grade it again, and turn it into you. Turn it back. If you're still not happy with your grade, I'll give you one more attempt. I'll give you up to 3. And by the third attempt, people usually get A's. Honestly, by the second. If they didn't get an A the first time and they fix the things that I told them to fix, then they come back and get the better grade. And so please take advantage of that. Please don't just stop at, okay, cool, I did my assignment, I got a C. Learn from it. Realize the mistakes you made, fix them so you can get that A. Wouldn't that be awesome? I want you all to get A's on this. And you can, as long as you work hard and fix any mistakes that you make in it. So that's your Unit 2 close reading assignment. Hopefully you have fun with it. Hopefully you learn a lot from it, opens your eyes. I think it's kind of an interesting article, very insightful. But when you are done watching this video, thank you for watching it, by the way. I want you to complete the Unit 2 video assignment in Google Classroom, please. Again, I appreciate everyone that's already completed the Unit 1 video assignment. I want you now to go to our Google Classroom, do the Unit 2 one, and answer the questions. Again, super short. What's your name? Those types of questions. What did you learn? Did you watch the video? So if we all do that, we'll all be happy, get better grades in the class, and we'll know more about the project. Once again, feel free to reach out to me if you have any questions or need any help. I'm always available by email. I answer pretty quickly. You can call me, text me, or I have my live office hours Wednesdays. So tomorrow at 7 o'clock in the morning, kind of early. No one ever comes though, so it's pretty boring. So if you ever want to just pop in and say hi to Mrs. Gill and click on the link in the emails I send you at the bottom with my live office hours, and I can help you with psychology. So have a great week, guys. Good luck with your courses. And again, let me know what I can do to help, okay? Thanks so much, guys.